Many of my research and planning tasks involved finding and analysing the conventions of my 3 media products that I've created: the music video, the website, and the digipak. I analysed many different music videos from different genres, including Lily Allen's videos Smile, Pink's What About Us, and Jasmine Sullivan's Bust Your Windows, and looked at different digipaks for Zara Larsson, Louisa Johnson, and Lily Allen. I also looked at many websites for artists including Beyonce, Tom Misch, and Chance the Rapper. I made a note of all the conventions and I have tried to incorporate these into the media text I have produced. One of the conventions I found when looking at digipaks is that the artist or artists are usually photographed on the front cover, and how their star image is represented within that image. This shows the artist's star image as well as a simple introduction to the digipak. I found this convention was used throughout most digipaks regardless of genre. However, I found that a few random artist album covers featured artwork or symbols of photography, although the photography was not of the artist or band. This therefore subverting and challenging this convention. For example, this is relevant in Ed Sheeran's front cover for his album X, where a simple letter X fills the cover. This is also seen in Arctic Monkeys' front cover for their album Mad Sounds. The cover displays a wavelength in the shape of an infinity symbol. Ed Sheeran and the Arctic Monkeys do not belong to the same genre of music, and yet by their simple anonymous album covers one may think they are. However, some artists may be challenging this convention. Other artists belonging to a range of different genres are conforming to this convention for the many possible positive reasons why, such as the chance to show off a well-constructed star image. Examples of front covers of digipaks that do show an image of the artist or band include Calvin Harris's 18 Months, which clearly displays an image of Calvin sitting on the pavement, possibly representing his carefree personality and star image. In the next album cover, which is from Lady Gaga's Born This Way, again represents herself in the image on the front cover, breaking the fourth wall with the audience and looking directly at them in this image. The image is edited in black and white, showing off her star image and looking rebellious. A perfect representation of a front cover of an album would be Kehlani's Sweet Sexy Savage album cover that shows a picture of her half naked and covered in tattoos with glitter in her hair. This shows her star image of being quite alternative and not basic nor synthetic. I think she really needed to have an image like that on the front of the album cover to scream at the audience, telling them this is who she is and that you are a fan not only buying her music but also buying her star image in a package deal. Whilst researching this convention, I also looked at digipaks as a whole, as well as focusing in the pop genre to create an authentic looking digipak that sold Danny as an synthetic pop artist. This is also useful as Danny will have the same target audience. The previous digipaks I analysed were from a range of genres. To name a few covers from the pop genre that affected the creation and planning of my digipak included Kesha from the album Animal, Rihanna from the album Talk That Talk, and The Weeknd's album Starboy. All these three are from the pop genre and have made me understand that by using an image of my artist from the album cover enables me to represent Danny's star image as well as feeling like an authentic synthetic pop artist selling her image as well as her music. We decided that this would be best in order to fit in with the pop genre. We would have to choose an image that clearly represented our artist, as this was initially the first impression our artist would make on a potential fan before knowing information about her or even listening to her music. From my previous research, I understood that of the pop genre, the main focus for audience should be the artist's face. Therefore, we needed a close-up photo, which would be composed in the spot-on centre of the album cover. Yet another convention which is found in many pop artist covers, including Taylor Swift's Fearless. One of the conventions I found when looking at digipaks is that the artist or artist names are usually displayed on the front cover as well as the album name. This tells the audience what the album's all about and also who the artist is in relation to the digipak. I found this convention was used throughout most digipaks regardless of genre. However, I found that a few random artist album covers featured either no name and only presented the album title, or only wrote the name and not the album title. Some artists felt that art could speak a few more words than the title of their album can, so some didn't even put their name or the title of their album, not even a picture of themselves. This therefore subverting and challenging this convention. For example, This is relevant in Kendrick Lamar's album cover Damn, where only the words Damn are displayed, layered on top of a photograph of himself. This is similar to Kanye West's album cover for The Life of Pablo, where the title and images are used as art. I felt that perhaps these artists don't feel that they need to put their names because they feel so well known and everyone will know it is their album, so therefore don't feel the necessity. Or perhaps stereotypically, within the genre of music, hip-hop and trap, the artists are rule breakers and they sing about drugs and alcohols in their song. So maybe they purposely subverted the convention to make a point. In the 1975 album cover, they do not have the album name and only the name of their band. I believe this suggests that the image on top of the cover tells more of a story and gives away more information about the album than words ever could, proving just how creative the music industry is. In Rihanna's album cover Anti, she completely rejects the conventions of the front cover of an album and places a piece of artwork with no title and no name. No way of possibly telling this album cover is related to her. All these artists seem to have belonging to the same genre of music, possibly suggesting that hip-hop and trap genre focus on their music and the message through art rather than their personal star image. However, some artists may be challenging this convention. Other artists belonging to a range of different genres are conforming to this for the many possible reasons why, such as getting to your name known and the title of your album if you're not famous enough for people to know it. This is the case for our up-and-coming artist Danny. Examples of front covers of digipacks that do show the title of the album and the name include Cardi B's album cover for Invasion of Privacy. In this image, both her name and the title of the album are visible and in line with each other. None of the titles are any bigger than the other, showing how her star image does not overpower her music. However, this is not the same in rock band AC/DC's album cover of Highway to Hell, where the title of the album is placed right at the bottom, away from the main focus as opposed to the band's name more in eye line with the audience, showing off their star image and making that a focus point. This is again done with Madonna's album cover of Celebration, where her name stands out way more than the title of the album. The words are also placed at the top, out of the way of her artwork. This can mean she is proud of the person she is and the way her career has shaped. Whilst researching this convention, I looked into digipacks as a whole, as well as focusing solely in the pop genre to create an authentic looking digipack that sold Danny as a synthetic pop artist. This is also useful as Danny will have the same target audience. The previous digipacks I analysed were from a range of genres. To name a few album covers from the pop genre that affected the creation and planning of my digipack include Maroon 5's album cover for Overexposed, Serafina Steer's album cover for The Moths Are Real, and Mika's album cover for Life in Cartoon Motion. All these three are from the pop genre and have made me understand that within the pop genre, using words make the image stick out and unlike Rihanna's album cover, are laid out on the table and simple to understand, especially for a pop genre audience like ours of 15 to 25-year-olds. By looking at the conventional way of putting the text into the photo, I understand that I put it in quite alternatively, which is remarkable for the pop genre, which, like I just said, is usually seen as very simple. By adding the title of the album and the artist's name, we began to feel like an authentic synthetic pop artist, selling her image as well as her music. We decided that this would be best in order to fit in with the pop genre. We would place her name in an alternative way, which still fits in with the pop genre due to my previous research. From my previous research, I understood that of the pop genre, the name of the artist should be bigger than the title of the album, as a synthetic pop artist stereotypically care more about their star image and name rather than their music. Therefore, we needed a name which would be compromised in between the broken glass and the image of her, at a slight slant on the album cover. This also gives the audience an impression of the rebellious, carefree personality of Danny. However, many pop genre conventions have been used in the front cover. This is still our aim. We wanted to be discreet and subvert the convention to clearly show the title of the album on the front cover, where an example can be seen in Hailee Steinfeld's album cover for Haze. Due to my previous research of the wider range of digipacks and not focusing on the genre, where people like Kanye West and Kendrick Lamar break the convention, I felt this created a rule breaker personality where the artist can be considered a rebel. This is exactly what we tried to do with the artist Dani through all her revenge tactics in the music video. So we thought by making the title very discreet and by not conforming to the convention, this would give the impression to the audience that she is a rule breaker and a rebel. With all these conventions, she has enough to give her the impression that she is a pop artist, which overrules the one unconventional thing which gives us the slight impression. This also helps widen her target audience. Because those two conventions cover the front of the digipack, that means that they are the most important conventions when trying to make an authentic digipack to a specific genre, as it is the first impression an audience member sees before opening it up and learning more about the artist and trying to figure out what genre they belong to. There are hundreds of conventions that are non-genre specific, which include the catalogue number on the spine. Here are some examples of generic digipack spines that include the catalogue number. We felt this was necessary in order for our digipack to look authentic, so therefore added a catalogue number to our spine. As well as this, on most digipacks, an audience member will be able to find the barcode, the copyright details, and the record company's logo, that is, if they are signed to a record label. We found these three things absolutely crucial in the design of our digipack, as regardless of genre, every digipack we researched had all these three things. So we then added these three things to the back cover of our digipack, where these were found on all the other digipacks and added them. This made our digipack immediately look like it belonged in a shop and was authentic. Another convention that is very common amongst all digipacks would be the track listing on the back of the digipack. This is where the songs on the album would be listed in order. Of course, we had to add this to our digipack to inform our audience what was on the CD. Most digipacks just write the songs in a list with nothing else going on in the back cover. However, we felt we wanted to show the audience Dani's image on the back as well. So we researched more into pop artist track lists and the back of their albums and found that a convention for them was to include an image of the artist alongside the track listing. We therefore conformed to this convention as a chance to fit in with the genre, as well as a chance to show more of Dani as an artist. So we edited an image we had previously taken of Dani and wrote the tracks down and used an image of her where her body is fully shown. I then looked more closely into conventions of pop genre digipacks to increase the look and feel that our digipack belonged to the genre, and came across three vital conventions that I felt would have to include in the creation of our digipack. These conventions are the font used, the colours used, and the left inside cover. I noticed in my research that in comparison with other genres, the front of titles and names on pop digipacks was very different to the front on other genres digipacks. For example, Justin Bieber's pop album cover shows his front as eye-catching, bold, large and colourful, whereas on J. Cole's hip-hop album cover, the font is much more subtle, not at all bold, has a bland colour and definitely not eye-catching, unlike Justin Bieber's. This told me that I would also need to think about my font carefully and make sure that it's eye-catching, creative, bold and large. Therefore, I decided to use very bold writing using the font PT Sans Narrow. This created words that were very easy to read from far away, that stood out. The letters stood confidently and represented Dani as a strong, confident artist. On the front cover, we decided to write Dani's name in white writing, as this worked well with the pink colour scheme and stood out. I also placed the letters at a slant to act as if the words were coming straight out of the audience and pulling them into the photo and into the artist. On the back of the digipack, I also used the same font with the white writing to continue with the colour scheme and to make all the sides connect. This is seen within most generic digipacks. I used the same font and used a variety of sizes for the spine, but made sure her name would stand out most on the spine too, to show off her star image and make this visible in a shop. On the left inside cover, I used the convention of the font PT Sans Narrow, as well as conforming to another convention of the pop genres digipacks by writing a thank you page, mentioning everyone who helped on the digipacks by writing a shout out. This is a convention of pop genre because usually the artist is signed to a record label, as well as having many employers, friends and family help create the artist's album as well as their star image. For example, on our digipak, the writing says photography by Maddie Grandman. Whereas on a rock and roll album cover, such as this one, shows images of the organic artist playing instruments rather than a pop digipak, such as this digipak, who mentions people they want to thank. Because there are no images on the left inside cover of our digipak, we felt it was necessary to change the colour of the font to blend in more on the pink background. After listening to our audience feedback, we decided to subvert the convention of using bold colours and choose a grey colour. We thought this would work better as the right inside cover was such a bold image that the writing would distract from it, as well as enforcing the rebellious side of Danny. Another pop genre convention that we felt necessary to include and research for our digipak was the colour scheme used throughout the digipak. In generic, non-specific to a genre digipak, every colour is used. However, within the pop genre, colour is everything. The digipak needs to pop just as much as the music does. Therefore, colours used for a pop digipaks include orange, red, yellow, blue and of course pink and many more. These colours all pop and are not typically found on a rock artist digipak. We therefore decided this was crucial in looking like a pop artist digipak. Because our album cover already consisted of some pink colours, we decided to use this same shade of pink throughout our digipak to show that our artist belongs to the pop genre, as well as looking continuous throughout our 3 media products. To conclude, I believe that we have conformed and challenged conventions of generic digipaks, as well as conventions within the pop genre's digipaks. We feel we have succeeded to make our digipak look and feel like an authentic pop artist digipak. The reason why, for example, Taylor Swift is a very similar artist to ours, and when researching the back cover of her album, we are pleased to see how similar our digipaks looked, which means we follow the conventions of the back cover well. That was only one example, as there are many other conventions that we have followed, and due to our audience feedback, our digipak appeals to them and they understood that our artist is from the pop genre.